special little video as an introduction. Welcome, everybody. First of all, to MINECON. Last day, right?
Hello.
It's kind of weird, right? It's almost over. It feels like it kind of just began. It's a big party, and I'm really glad to see everybody here. Really proud to be on stage with Dragnose. If you guys do not know who Dragnose is yet, and how could you not? He's a Minecraft legend who is very proficient in like every aspect of Minecraft. So he's like Mr. Go-To for Minecraft in my book. And that's saying something because I've seen who's out there and he's really awesome. So you guys know Wonder Quest? You guys ever watch Wonder Quest with Stampy? Yeah? Awesome, okay. So you know the Wizard King, right? Cool. So the Wonder Quest maps are actually created by Dragnose.
Yes. Well,
so
it's the builds are created by Blockworks, but we work together to get the builds kind of in a usable form, and then I go out and create the magic. So if the script calls for Wizard Key needs to throw a fireball, I go out and I do that. So basically, I make sure that when they arrive, they could just have a place to act their Wonder Quest out of. So that's my involvement with Wonder Quest.
That's perfect, yeah. And so you got this like dynamic duo, this really dangerous relationship between Dragnose, who's like really proficient at doing like the technical stuff, making magic happen, and then if you guys were Blockworks YT, he's a magician of his own, builder extraordinaire with amazing builds that will blow your mind away, including one of the ones we're going to show you tonight, which is a Rube Goldberg machine. So yeah. And
how many people know what a Rube Goldberg machine is? Ah, see, you were worried for nothing.
Nice.
See? See? Yay.
I guess it makes sense. Who would show up to a Rube Goldberg thing? No. All right. So do you want to explain now or later what a Rube Goldberg is, just in case there's somebody who doesn't know?
Let's play the video. If there's questions, we can go.
Sounds good. Queued up. Oh, I like the monitor. Oh, they get rid of that thing.
So cool, sorry. That is such a cool video.
That's fun.
It's such a cool video.
Fun! Yeah. Yay! So quirky's good.
Yeah. That's what you can expect from us. So, go on. Introduce.
So Rube Goldberg machines, guys.
Microphone, please.
Oh, yep. So Rube Goldberg machines are these huge contraptions, right? They do these really crazy things. It dawned upon us only after we started making these roller coasters that we actually were making Rube Goldberg machines, because these things that we create do start from point A and they finish at point B all the way through continuously without any assistance from you. So it's an all the way through thing. Yeah. And originally we did that because when we made the video, it was difficult for us to like record and then have to reset the map and have to like, if TNT blows up and so we would do little tricks like, regenerate TNT and stuff. And
but what did you build on originally?
It was the Xbox 360 originally. Yeah, all Xbox, and I call it kind of like boot camp of Minecraft because there's no shortcut
way. Once you've ran a machine, you need to reset. You can't fill it back or clone it back in. It's a one shot only.
Absolutely, yeah.
That's actually been one of the challenges in building the roller coasters, is that for every effect that we need to do, we need to build a reset for that effect usually, so that when we're going through, you can actually go back and re-ride the roller coaster again in testing without resetting the map entirely. So for every effect that we're doing, we are building a reset almost always.
Yeah, that's very important. And the resets make it so much easier when you're recording. And the nice thing is it actually gives you a lot of control over what you're doing too. And that's one of the things about Redstone and these contraptions that we make. We spend a lot of time fine-tuning them, and it gets monotonous, like you would not believe.
Very monotonous.
Yeah, and so it's difficult for people to appreciate exactly what's involved with these things. They say, well,
If you want it back on, let us know.
okay, hey, go ahead, and if you want to pan over just for a quick shot to give people kind of an idea of what we're talking about when we say we're building a roller coaster. Most people have this image of,
Amazing pictures and this, this lovely marshmallow man popping out and things like that.
Sure.
But there's more, I think, behind it, isn't it?
Yeah, there's
Look at that.
what you're looking at there is what this particular ride, and this is Ghostbusters, the ride. This is what it looks like on the outside. And if you were to approach this, I don't think you would really know what, like, what is that? Something from outer space.
It just looks like somebody who's not very good at building.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Thank you for noticing, yes. You're right. If you were to look at this, you would think, this guy builds what? That's a building? Like, that's horrible, right? There's no back to that building. There's nothing, And there's a good example there of the exposed Redstone.
It's comparable to like a Hollywood set.
Yes.
Exactly.
Movie set.
Beautiful in the front. Yeah.
It's perspective.
Perspective.
It's all about perspective. It's just we force perspective to only what you can see. So when we build, we sit on the actual track in a minecart on another screen and say, okay, from this view, what can you see? And then we build just beyond that and stop. So everything around it is just completely blank. So what you think might be this massive city is probably a few half buildings with some lights in the back to make it look like it's a massive city. But if you can't see it off screen from where we are in perspective, then we don't build it.
Right. Right, and that saves a lot of time, obviously. The only thing we're concerned with is that perspective. Now, the cool thing about like the machines that that Dragonose made are that they're when you see them from third-person perspective, they look amazing. Little works of art, and they're beautiful. So, each is special in its own way.
So I think, just to explain where I know actually, because I know it might be a bit odd that I'm on this particular panel, but with Blockworks, I don't know, have you guys seen the Windows 10 Pocket Edition Friendly Update launch video? It was a massive machine that Alex rode through with a roller coaster, and it kind of did all these things. Did you guys see that by any chance? Anybody? No? Oh.
Well, then it bears to see. You guys,
Okay.
let's watch it.
Right. Okay, go ahead.
Let's take a look at that.
Absolutely. Fun.
Brings back horrible memories. So I'm
Yeah.
on actually. So so basically, Blockworks built the massive building behind it. Then I came in and I actually built this Rube Goldberg machine to actually showcase all of the new features that was in the update. So every single thing you see there on screen is 100% purposefully placed and designed to show what is now possible with this particular version. And unfortunately, this machine is not resettable because of the limitations of the particular platform. Like you'll see at the moment, there's TNT going off and all kinds of things. And they kind of, this is Windows 10 Pocket Edition, so there's the things that we normally work with when we do the more advanced maps weren't there. There's no command blocks, there's no commands at all. It's all pure and utter Redstone.
Wizardry.
Wizardry. Yes. So the stuff that happens there, like you'll see.
Yeah, I wanted to just slow down real quickly because I
go
wanted
on.
to just point out that knowing that this stuff is actually built very carefully and intentionally.
Yes.
This is the beauty of when you get people like this working together. The actual build itself is just really.
That's a big thing. So I mean, James and his team built this. The only thing that they actually built in was the Synwave. Okay. That's the only thing they said that we want to keep in.
Nice.
I
nice,
guess
nice.
we kept it in. It was,
And it looks really pretty.
Yeah,
That's
beautiful.
Cool. Just a lot of moving parts at the same time too, which is really nice.
Which was, I mean, we were working with alpha technology.
Yeah.
So we were working with things. They would go, oh look, we've just added this. Can you use it? And then I would work it, and my whole PC would crash because it's completely utterly alpha. Especially that block there. It's called the observer block that makes the tree grow. That one was causing a lot of issues. all of the things you're seeing now, all of the moving parts, was all added in this particular version. There we go.
That looks so cool. I know, I love the way that looks. Every time I see it, I'm like, yay, this is cool.
But yeah, that took a long time. And if I did one thing wrong, it will set off the whole chain of things, and I had to just, delete the whole file and go back to a backup file to just get it all back in again.
You get one shot.
You get one shot, absolutely. Now that is also observer block, which we're now going to be getting in the window in the Java edition as well.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
Nice.
1.11, we're going to be getting that.
Nice.
So that is pretty cool. Yeah, and it was all just the kinetic movement that we wanted in it, just to keep it flowing and moving.
Very cool. Let me ask you about this particular scene here.
Yeah.
What are these things?
Okay, so there's a lot of stuff happening here.
Yeah,
There's a lot of
that's
stuff
what I'm going,
happening
wait a minute.
here. Okay,
Slow down
so
here.
what you've got here is,
Yeah,
points. So can they see the mouse? Okay, so
You can go ahead and...
on the side here, all right, it's going to pause it right there. And just do it one more. No, wrong spot. Don't worry. No. There we go. Yay! Yay! So what you've got there, you've got a row of these things over here. Is called an observer block. Okay, this was added in the 1.10. Oh, this was added in the Windows 10 friendly update. What it does, it actually looks at the block in front of it. So if you put it down here, it looks at the block in front of it. If that block changes in any way, okay, it will then output, let's say, a current. Okay, it will output a signal. And then what I did was I put what are those things called? The lights. I can't even remember.
Lamps.
Lamps, the redstone lamps. I put it on the other side. And then just had water running down it. So it just creates this nice flowing, falling effect. So that's exactly what it is.
Really cool.
And so essentially those are acting as bud switches, correct?
That's exactly it. Is so. This was actually Mojang's way of emulating what is called a bud switch. Now, bud switch is something called a block update detector, and in the Java PC version, that's actually a bug. Okay, but so many people are actually using that bug as a feature that it's now they've stopped trying to fix it.
Just leave it alone. Let it be.
So it's like, okay, no, because the moment they take that away, there will be chaos.
Yeah.
Okay, there will be chaos in the community.
Okay.
But because Windows 10 was a complete new build, they built it from the ground up in a completely different language, those things didn't exist. Those bugs didn't exist. So they actually built a specific block to do what a bug does in the Java edition.
We use bugs a lot.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. A lot of what we all do, we can't do without bugs. I mean, we use bugs as
basically
features.
exploit all of
Yes.
the bugs that, and then
Exactly.
try to get them to not fix them.
But they're happy accidents.
Exactly.
You know,
Happy
they're
accidents,
little glitches in the system that that lend themselves to making like really neat stuff that you shouldn't be able to. So it's kind of fun to do.
Now, can you continue playing this?
Absolutely. Just
Do you want to just, there's some other challenges that this build had. No.
I love this part.
Nero
This
likes
is
this.
so
This is
cool.
one of my favorite parts as well.
yes, the movie parts look good.
That was a problem.
Oh boy. Yeah.
So we built that, got that working fully, and then we got an update which kind of caused parts of the world not to load. So then suddenly the whole thing stopped working, and bits and pieces was loading and not loading.
Wow. Yeah. Pull your hair out time.
So all of that stuff is bud. Is those bud blocks, is that observer blocks.
They work very well.
And if you guys, who's familiar with the PC version of Minecraft? Who plays the PC version of Minecraft? Yeah, a lot of you guys. Yeah. Who does Redstone on the PC version? Can you push a dispenser with a piston? Can you push a piston with a dispenser? Anyone? Oh, can you push a dispenser with a piston? That's what I said. No, you can't. So in Windows 10, you can. So that every single thing you saw there was the piston pushing the dispenser over a redstone torch which dispensed the TNT. So every single thing you saw there was to accentuate the features and create just this continuous flowing motion. And that's the thing about their roller coasters as well. It's this amazing flowing flowing thing.
Point A to point B thing.
Yeah.
And one of the things I noticed is that this you're recording this, right? You're actually
I
like
was
flying
recording
around as this is happening, recording, this person riding the ride.
That was a big challenge as well.
Was that what we just saw right there? That looked like it got pushed? Or did something just come out of here? Nope.
It was pushed.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's my son.
Is that right? That's
That's right. That was the most difficult to film, not because of any of the technicalities. It was just my son just wanted to go around on the horse and do things, you know. And then I had him to be at that specific spot at a very specific stage. And yeah, it was it was difficult to get him to be where we needed him to be at that stage.
Amazing, amazing. Well,
So
it came out very well.
This particular build, there was build challenges to this, wasn't there?
Yeah, right. This was huge, a huge amount of fun for us, but there were probably two main challenges. The first one being that it's Windows 10. We're a huge team of 42 builders, and we're used to building on PC. And with that, we have things like World Edit. We can place millions of blocks in one go, and we don't have any of that anymore. So this was one really poor builder on his own, placing it block by hand, and we hadn't done that in years. So that was the first sort of physical challenge. The second one was that we have this builder who's really good at making the visuals, and we have a wizard like Dragnos who can do all the redstone. And it's like the chicken and the egg, you know, what comes first? Because Dragnos can't build a track. Dragnos can't build the mechanics if the track's not there. And we don't know how to build the track if we don't know what the roller coaster is going to look like. So this whole communication was a real challenge.
It was a real challenge. But the beauty of the builds is that I completely and utterly is always inspired. So I can plan whatever I want to plan, but the moment they deliver a build, my plans completely change. It's like, oh, now, oh, yeah, I want to do that now, and I want to, you know, this way I want, oh, but, you know, I can't show that, and I want to show this part. So this kept on changing as they updated it because it was just, you know, so much of the cool build that we wanted to show. Oh, this mouse is the wrong way around.
Oh, inverted?
Yeah. That's
Oh, we have one of those issues.
And that's a struggle I deal with every time he uses my controller. It's
Right,
the same
inverted.
way. I get on and everything's all upside down.
So, I mean, I'm just going to fly through it a bit. I mean, if you guys want to carry on talking while I'm
Yeah,
just
absolutely.
doing that.
As a matter of fact, it's kind of when you mentioned that, I thought it was just us, but that would make sense. With me, I do the redstone, and so, you know, I got to lay the track down first, and I got to figure, okay, this is what I want to happen in this room, and then we do a sketch, right? Okay, look, there'll be a head off to the left, and this is where I want that, and then I start working on the redstone, and then that's when people can come in and start building and helping me build around. But it really is difficult when you're working with somebody else because they're relying on you to finish what you have to finish, and then that might like change what they have to do, and so it's a constant back and forth. And Simon's worked on this on roller coasters before, and he knows. Like, I'll leave my Xbox on, and my friends list is basically just builders who come on and help, and you know, my buddies. But it's on, and so they can come on at night, and I'll leave pumpkins, right? Towers of pumpkins.
Our standard message for whatever needs to be done is a pumpkin with a sign on it.
Yeah.
A jack-o'-lantern, technically.
Yeah, that's how I leave my notes on the right. So I'll go through and I'll see like, okay, oh, this is, you know, change this, change that, or hey, remember that thing you showed me? That would look kind of cool there if you want to, you know, build something like that. And we work with really talented people like Simon who come in and are knowledgeable in Redstone and are good builders. And when I find people like that, I'm like, oh, that's cool, you know, like.
Well,
Snag 'em up.
we have additional challenges too because we do music. So
Yeah. So
You do
okay.
the music as well.
Yeah,
Wow.
so that's the other thing. So we add the music. Part of the reason we do this for the video, I mean, that's the reason is the video. And there are certain times throughout the music where there's like a bass drop or the beat kicks in at just the right time.
Or in Doctor Who, the certain audio of the head in the jar.
right.
Doctor Who.
The Doctor Who, that's
So
right, Doctor Who.
we always start with music, strangely
We
enough.
do.
We come up with a plan, and then we pick music. Once we've got the music, then we have to time out the track and kind of sketch it out.
Yeah, and to be honest, like the music is probably the most important part for me personally when I get inspired to do this. I'll hear a song and I'll be like, oh, I got it, that's cool, and I get locked in. And I have to do that because I have to listen to the song for 3 months, like nonstop, you know? So usually when we choose a song, that's when I know that I can start a project because I'm like, okay, the song's in my head, let's do this. I know how long it's going to be until that drop. So we can build up until that point. I can time the track up until that point, at which point nothing happens until we make sure that the timing is exactly right up until that point. Example is Beetlejuice, where we're going down a hallway, and it's slowing down, the minecart's slowing down, and we'll show it in a minute, in a while. And then all of a sudden, the piston doors open up to reveal eyeballs kind of off in the distance, and that's when the music kicks in again, and launches the player forward. And that was insane to get right. That took forever. We recorded that 10 hours of recording for Beetlejuice because we would turn a corner and there would be a little piston glitch, right?
Something would glitch out.
Or
'Cause
we
it was just shortly after it came out for 360.
Yes.
So there was still a lot of bugs
Lot-
in
yeah,
there.
yeah, yeah, a
That
lot
we
of-
were still kind of challenged.
A lot of bugginess. So, it would bother me if like Beetlejuice's eyes were supposed to look to the left, but like only one of them did. So like he's cross-eyed and you're going, no, that's not cool. And little things like that. The way I found out, by the way, do you guys know that what mobs will spawn on? Mobs will spawn on, like, the most common block is grass blocks, right? If you got a grass block in your world, something's gonna spawn on it.
Cows.
I learned, because there was a cow in one of our builds. We kept going through a house, and halfway through, every single time, it'd be like, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice,
It took us forever to find a cow, and it was somewhere.
We tore the house, literally tore it apart,
Yeah.
looking for an
There was
errant
one
cow.
grass block.
Yeah, it was
somewhere
one
in the house,
grass block.
Up in the ceiling. I don't even know why it was there.
Yeah.
But there was a cow every single time. on
That
one
was an
block.
hour of my life I'll never get back.
Looking for a cow.
And there are lots of
One
hours that
cow.
are like that when you're building these things, because it's little details that get you.
Beats my chicken stories by far.
What chicken stories?
I definitely have a point on that as well. The process of building these is a process of trial and error, usually filled with more errors than not. And a quote by Thomas Edison really applies here of when he invented the light bulb, a reporter asked him, I've heard that you failed 200 and something times trying to build this light bulb. And he said, I didn't fail 297 times. I found 297 ways not to do it. And that mentality is very important, of looking at a failure or looking at something that doesn't necessarily go right and thinking, A, why doesn't it go right? But also, how can I potentially use that? What does this further inspire? And looking at the process from that point of view of something that there will be pitfalls. When you are all done with it and you're about to test it, it's not going to work. There's always going to be something that you've
Never
overlooked,
works.
always.
Never works.
But it's in that process of trial and error and of learning from the errors and why they occurred that real progress is made. So I would encourage anyone that's hoping to build one of these contraptions or Rube Goldberg devices, in the process you will get discouraged. But it's how you move on from that discouragement.
So the actual life example, what he's talking about, like in real life is, okay, I built this structure, it looks great, it's perfect. It's 3 blocks off. You're gonna have to tear the whole thing down
We've done that.
and rebuild it
done
3
that.
blocks over.
It's okay. Why don't you just use like MC Edit and move the whole thing over?
Because it's 360.
All right, so it's 360.
No idea.
360.
You have
So
no
we don't
idea
have
how
that
many
option.
times,
Yeah,
yeah.
we
And-
literally have to move them block by block.
And for this particular this Rube Goldberg machine here, how many did you have? 50 people working on this? Did you know?
We had one person working on it. Normally we would have as many people as we can get. We're a team of 42, but in this case, we could only have one person. The Windows 10 version that we were given was incredibly buggy, and the process of setting up a server for it was, incredibly complicated in itself. So it was a one-man job. The guy's name is Ronos. He lives in the Netherlands. He's not here today, but credit to him.
Yeah.
Yeah, phenomenal.
Yeah, you end up learning a lot about the
Yeah.
game.
Yes.
You can become an expert real fast, especially with all the things that are wrong with the game, the things that are broken or could go better, because you're pulling your hair out thinking to yourself, this should work, Come to find out there's some sort of invisible chunk error that's causing, some redstone thing not to go off and throws everything. It's just, you want to pull your hair out.
But there are a lot of times that you can take those, like Simon, I think, was saying, where you come across something, you think it should work. By all accounts, it should work, but it's not working. Then you get frustrated, you set it down for a while, you come back to it. But sometimes those are the things you go, okay, well, it didn't do what it was supposed to do, but it did do this.
Yeah,
so
that's-
maybe we can
that's-
take that and use that
Yes.
somewhere else. And so you reinvent what you originally started with, but you take what you
So
now
an example would be like the invisible lighting that we do,
Yes.
on here.
have. Right. So you kind of take those little glitches that you're discouraged over, and then you just take them and flip them around and decide, okay, well, what can I do with this? It would fit here. And that's how we discovered a lot of the 360 errors. And we would go to 4J and say, please don't update that yet. We haven't recorded our roller coaster, and if you update that, we are done.
If I remember correctly, on Ghostbusters, there was a bug involving the fire charges collecting at the center of a map.
Oh, that was so cool. Yeah, so
You
like
planned
so
on using.
It was really weird. They had just introduced fireballs on, like in the fire charges, right? And so we're like, oh, cool. So we started like shooting them off like crazy, right? Dispensers just going nuts. And so we're like, oh, that was fun. That's cool. Okay. The next day we're sitting there, running the track, and all of a sudden we come to this part of the map, and there's 1,000 fire charges floating in the middle of the air, like across the span of the map, and we're going, they're just floating. It's weird. It was like haunted or something. It was crazy.
And we built. Remember,
So
we
we built around, because you couldn't destroy them, you couldn't get rid of them. They were just stuck in the middle of the air. It's like a glitch. So we're like, okay, that's kind of cool though. When you look up at them, they still look like circles, and they still look, they come this way. And I thought, wait a minute, we could build like the firehouse from Ghostbusters. You know how like it explodes at some point and like all the ghosts come out the top? So we used that in that scene where the ghosts are coming out of the top of the building, and it looked cool. Like all the little fire charges were moving at different rates and everything. It looked really neat, like you were controlling the fireballs. And so then we heard that they were gonna fix it, and we're like, no!
We pulled Rimmer off of live.
Yeah,
and we were like, okay, please. We were calling 4J, going, please, just like give us a week.
Just a week, yeah.
Please don't
And then
update
fix it.
this. Like, please don't do that yet. So we had to pull off of being online, just because we wanted to make sure we had built around that glitch, and we didn't want them to update it.
Yeah.
Fun.
So
jam.
fun little like mistakes that happen all the time, especially with lighting glitches. It's great. All right, guys, I'm gonna show you what's that. Oh, without the inverted mouse.
Okay,
I'm like,
who has heard of a show called Doctor Who?
There we go.
Yeah. Nice. Okay, so hopefully this will ring a few bells.
yeah. So this is a ride we did called Doctor Who, and this roller coaster had a lot of redstone in it. Let's see if I can get over to some of the redstone so you guys
I
can
don't have
see.
a video for it, do you?
Oh, actually, we do.
Okay, let's show the video and then you guys can
Good
talk through the
idea.
video.
Talk through it.
Actually,
That
that's what we were talking about doing.
Yeah.
All right. Let me get
Yeah, we did.
Visual.
We did Doctor Who with 4J
Right.
and the BBC.
Well, yeah, so here's the
Yeah.
thing. So 4J Studios contacted us and says, hey, what are you guys doing? We're like, just stuff. They go, you doing Doctor Who stuff? We're like, no, but we know of him. It's kind of cool. They're releasing a skim pack. Really? That's kind of cool. When is it? It's about 3 months out.
No.
Perfect. 3 months out gives us just about enough time. And so they go, okay, keep it like hush hush, and whatever. There's a lot of legalities that they got to go through, so we couldn't say anything.
Especially the BBC.
Yeah, especially BBC and the Doctor Who franchise. So we were like, sworn to secrecy. And in the end, it turned out being a really, really cool project. The BBC was really happy with it. Microsoft was happy with it because they had to you got to go through their legal hoops and stuff. And then 4J was happy with it. So we're like, yay, everybody's happy with it.
I would say it's one of the most intricate
Yeah.
that we've ever done.
Definitely.
Yeah, it was fun.
I'm not just a Time Lord. I'm the last of the Time Lords.
Airlock decompression completed. Jettisoning pod.
So those were buddies of mine who had gotten the skin pack and were like attacking me. And they actually freaked me out when they came through the window.
The drums!
And so we had to rebuild Gallifrey, all torn up for the war scene, where they had a huge battle. And then we brought in the UFOs. I thought they looked kind of cool. This took a lot of redstone, all the redstone kind of going up. And this is a lighting glitch, so a lot of that looks like it's neon. And you just, for effect, you use the redstone just because it looks cool. All the lights lighting up, at the same time. This is us looking up, and we're falling right now. We're falling, yeah. And so we're still looking up at this point at the sky. Now, we built this tower, and I thought the webs looked so cool when you light them up. And so we ran just a quick light. Now, we are actually launched with TNT up into the sky, and we're hooked into the track, and that propels us forward.
That TNT cannon also took about 20 tries to actually work.
Yeah, the TNT cannon, and they actually fixed it so it doesn't work anymore. Another glitch we were using.
A minecart on top of a sign, or I'm sorry, a fence post. Yeah, enabled it to get shot up.
Yep. And that's the BBC shot. So here, a lot of times people get confused because I move the camera up for scenes like this. I just think they look neat. It's the little, those are skulls that I use for hands and feet on the little adipose characters. And you can actually move them, you can rotate them. And look at all the ways you can move them. And I was like, that's kind of cool. So they look cute little dudes kind of jumping around. And that's the face of Bo, like alien dude who's just a floating head.
A lot of the things you see as well, it's interesting. Most people think that they're built exactly how you see them, so that you're always looking forward. But most of our builds are actually built upside down or up in the air, which is really confusing to build.
And this one was Bo. So okay. And then also there's this perspective trick. So when you move the camera, all of a sudden his face is exposed to light. This is another one of the lighting glitches. I love the way that this looks because it pops, doesn't it? There's a lot of contrast to it. And that's a glitch. That's a lighting glitch. It's a half slab.
That entire build is built upside down on its side. So when you're looking at that, it's very confusing to build because you think you're standing in front of something. So you're using your controller as if you were standing in front, except that you're actually staring up at the ceiling.
The building was on a wall here, projecting out, and so you're going down, looking up at it. So what it causes is the ability to, and in a second here when you just play it, it causes the ability to go into this phone booth and have the interior appear as though it's much larger than it should be, because it's actually a trick of perspective of how that previous scene was built.
This was a last-minute add-on. The skin pack that they released, they had black and white skins for like the retro Doctor Who's, and I thought that was kind of neat because they were just black and white, right? So I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. How can we like incorporate that? So I said, oh, let's drop real quick. Once we get into the TARDIS, we'll drop down and we'll build a scene that's just black and white, and then we'll put the characters in there, and it's kind of like you're, just a little flashback kind of thing. But that was thrown in last minute. Like we saw the skin pack, and I was like, okay, we got to build this little area down here. And so we get up close. They kind of look at you, and you blast away. We're looking up here. Another lighting glitch. This is the Union Jack and Bad Wolf. So, yeah. And that's all. We're using a lot of shading with the lighting here. It's actually, it's a little bit of a shame in a way. There's so much detail that goes into it that it's missed. The minecart goes by and you don't quite appreciate what was done. But, right, so we're using perspective. Yeah. Now, the thing is, that's all Redstone stuff too. It's all one continuous. You have to remember, we're running off of whatever Redstone impulse I pushed at the very beginning, that is still running this ride. So no one's had to push me, no one's had to move anything. And as we're going through, the Redstone resets everything. So that the next person that comes through, it's just all fully automated.
They are fast, faster than you could believe. Don't turn your back. Don't look away, and don't.
Not this one. The Railbusters, the Ghostbusters.
The Ghostbusters, yes.
And that's specifically because we wanted to make a 4-person ride. I wanted people to play with their friends. Yep. And I thought Ghostbusters is perfect because you got your buddies, and you can go out and.
Yep. That's the first time I actually kind of really saw this stuff, was when I logged onto a server, logged onto the Emerald Isles, and went on this roller coaster. It was completely like, nah.
Yeah, they're fun to build.
It's not possible.
Yeah. Here. So I got this choreography and timing. That's my friend Trust and Lies. He looked at the camera just at the right time, and he had just run back from like another part of the map. So, and then we got our hallways.
Somebody just recently commented that it couldn't have been done when it was done in one take because we had the skin packs, which was before they came out.
Yeah.
But it's exactly the reason you kind of made this.
It's the reason. It is the reason they wanted that to kind of.
Yeah, it's the same.
Be the introduction to it.
Yeah.
So
this is a shame to me. Not a shame because each one of these titles that's going by was meticulously made, and unfortunately, because of the way it has to be filmed, it's got to be filmed this way. I don't want to spend too much time glaring at those because of my ADD. And this is, the webs, the cobwebs in the dark just look so brilliant. When we saw them, they look like Vegas lights to us, And this is Simon, by the way. Simon did this effect with the clock here as it's rotating and coming towards us, And there's Doctor Who. Yeah. And then again, the lighting glitches with the exterior. And that's the crew. So yeah,
nice.
Thank you. Yeah. Maybe we can open up for some questions or something.
Do you have the? Yeah.
BBC did an article and they aired it on. It wasn't directly on BBC, but it was through BBC has a few channels, I think. So there is an actually interview where they came onto the map and kind of went around the map a little bit and did an entire interview on it.
Yeah, and so just really briefly, and I don't know if we're going to open up to some questions in a second.
Yeah, we'll open up to some questions when
Yeah.
we're done.
Actually, if you want to do that while I get to that part of the map, that'd be great. That'd be good. Yeah. So.
Okay. Do we have a microphone or something?
There is one right in the center.
Oh, perfect.
Shall I do that? Shall I
Do you
go
mind, sir?
on floor?
Thank you so much, sir. Awesome, sir.
Can I do that? Okay. Right. So, if you have any questions, just line up right behind you. Oh dear. I'm sorry. You're gonna have to. Okay. So just bend down. Yeah.
Wow.
So,
Not fair.
I have a question for Nero.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So your name first.
Oh, sorry. My name is Oscar.
Oscar,
nice.
cool. Hello, Oscar.
I was wondering, are you gonna make any more of the maps?
Yeah, we've actually have maps planned. We have some that are half started.
I have one completed.
We actually have one that's completed, ready to go.
For the server.
There's some stuff going on with our server that's delayed us, but there's stuff in the works. It's kind of hard to like say what that stuff is though, because of.
well,
you
we
know.
have the Emerald Isle. Well, what's the Emerald Isle?
What is
Which
now the Enchanted Isle.
It's official TEI, and what we've done is we've put the roller coasters, some of our builds from the 360, onto the server, and that's what we were talking about. We've made the Rail Busters one a 4-player, basically a ride where you get to throw snowballs and it counts up the snowballs, and at the end, whoever has killed the most mobs kind of wins. So we've tried to take them because a lot of people will ask us, well, can we have the downloads for your map? And I'm like, well, if you got the download, you really wouldn't know what to do with it because it's not going to look the same. It's not going to work the same. So it's not really a map that you can just run on and play. It's built up in the air.
And to be honest, even the spawn point for that map is not where the coaster starts. When we're logging on to these maps, we'll have to be shown where the actual coaster begins. And oftentimes, even when you know that, it's very difficult to find your way around the map because of how it's constructed in these enclosed boxes.
Because a lot of things, they're either enclosed or, like I said, they're up in the air. So you look at it, and even if you were on the track, if you don't know exactly where to look, you are not going to see what you're supposed to see. It's going to look like a half-finished map. So what we did is we tried to take them, put them onto the Enchanted Isle, and then currently they're updating our coaster plugin, which is why they're not up. But we do have coasters that are completed, and those will allow people, we've kind of rebuilt them on the outside so that now from your view you can actually look around and it won't look like an unfinished map. But we do have several of them that are partially built, one that is completely built, and as soon as our plug-in, you'll actually be able to go on there and ride those and see them for yourself.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
I will say one thing: Stranger Things. What?
Gosh, they're not good with secrets.
Nothing.
We never
heard
ever
that.
tell anyone what we're working on until the preview comes out, and he just like threw it out there.
That's a MINECON special, guy.
Okay. What's your name and what's your question?
Hello, I'm Nathan, and I'm just wondering, Dragonauts, how long have you been doing command blocks in Redstone?
Right. Okay. For about 5 years, maybe 6. You know, it's, and for most of that, I was nobody, just learning the craft, finding out how to do things, and mixing with people, and going on TEI, them not knowing who I am, being blown away by what they do, and look, here I'm on a panel with them. How phenomenal!
And do you think you could win the command block king challenge?
Oh yeah.
You know what? No. I will not. There are so many other people who are much better at command blocks and ways of thinking. But everybody has a very unique way of looking at things. So yeah, no, I'd have a good go. I'll give it my best, but I doubt it. Thank you.
My name is Travis, and I'm wondering how you make the people blink.
Yes. Okay.
Good question.
Is it piston retractors?
Oh.
Wow.
Spot on. They are piston retractors. I'll actually show you real quick how we did the eyes on Beetlejuice when he blinks, which funny. I actually thought that was kind of cool because the way we did the eyes are kind of like they're snake-like. They're slits. You know, they go up and down. And when the piston's retracted, they just look really neat the way they closed because of the shading on it. So I was like, oh, that looks really neat. But nobody ever knows. Nobody ever asks, really, you know? And I wonder if anybody ever... So I guess somebody else thought about that. That's cool. Yeah. And I'll show you. It's right inside here. See all this redstone that's on the outside of this building? So that's what sends the impulse to the eyes, right? So the minecart will, on this side over here, the minecart will go over the detector, send a little impulse, and I have to time it so that by the time I get to the stop part, that signal is reaching this Beetlejuice face. So this is the face I think we're talking about here, Mr. Creepy looking. And that's the back of the eye. And what it is, they come together at an angle. Let's see if I can get this. See if I can get in here.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And so it's not what people usually think.
Yeah, there's not really...
Yeah, there's not really anything there. It's just, you know, it's just in at an angle.
It's empty
Now,
space. Is
Yeah,
what
it's
it
empty
is.
space. But let me show you the
But it's
actual
sort of
piston.
the force kind of perspective that you guys are.
Yeah.
And the players need to see that
Let's look at
dark
the back
space.
of the head here.
There we go.
That is what you're talking about. So those pistons activate and they retract, pulling the blocks backwards. And let me actually start it here with a little button to show you it in action. All right. Yeah, let's look up. Sorry, it's not inverted, so I'm like, oh.
Oh, it was you.
It's that simple. It is so like, that's a blink.
Are those pistons?
Yes.
It's just pistons, yeah. There's a little bit of redstone behind them. Once it comes, it's just the length of whatever the impulse is, you know, and it looks like a blink. Just boom, boom. It just does it. It's cool.
So it's quite often, it's the blend of all of the things coming together.
Yeah.
You know, that you create the visual and then create the...
And here you go. So just so you can
this is
understand how,
gold.
there is just a wall basically of white wool that gets pushed in front of the black pupil. And that's what makes that look like it's blinking.
So much of their perspective tricks are built around positioning objects in different ways than normally you would think about them. Normally, if I were asked to build that face, I would build the eyes flat, right? So that the black is there flat, but having it go in at this angle to where it's actually part of the wall, and the block directly in front of you, per se, is the one being pushed out to cover that. It's those kind of differences of thinking about how to set it up in a way that will make it appear deeper or more complex than it actually is.
Yeah.
Using all 6 dimensions, really, of the space in front of them is how a lot of these perspective tricks are. They look like something that is more special than truthfully what's actually going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very simple.
Thank you for that question, though. That was a good question.
Thank you.
Thanks.
I have one question.
Yeah.
Where did you learn how to build so good?
Ooh. We just started building.
We just started building, yeah. So, okay, but, you know, maybe I can answer it this way. So, like, in real life, I like to draw, right? And so, like, I'm always sketching and stuff, and it's something that I do. I just do it all the time. So when I look at something, you know, I have a tendency to kind of, like, want to, I can see, you know, what it would look like if I drew it. So maybe some of that has lent, you know, towards me being able to, like, you know, build characters in the distance, kind of figure, like, you know, what they would look like when they moved. So I think maybe I like to draw. Maybe that helps.
But also practice makes perfect, for sure.
I'd like to know about James.
James,
Oh,
yeah, I was about to say, James actually has an interesting story about the whole way. Explain to us, what are you studying?
Because here's the thing. Here's it real quickly. Now, you look at this stuff, and when you go through the video, you think, that's cool, right? This guy's a good builder. But then you look at what I'm building, and do you really think that this is like a good build? Like, I mean, it's not. It's like the worst snake body I've ever seen. Are you kidding me? Like, that's
It's
terrible.
all perspective. What we do is very small scale, but it looks grand.
It looks big
from your perspective.
Yeah.
Now, but what
What
James
James is building
is
is
just
a totally
epic,
different thing.
out of control. So it's legit, like really, really skilled.
Yeah,
building.
so a lot of our team members like Neuro said, are interested in drawing. I study architecture, and so do a few others. And I think if you have a background in sort of arts and design, that's really going to help you be able to build so good.
Architects.
So yeah, it's taking inspiration from, from things around you, and do you draw? Do you play with Lego? Do you like Lego? Then there we go.
You're set.
Nice. Go play with your Lego, and you're going to be good
Keep
at building.
building.
Yeah. The biggest piece of advice I can give is to keep building.
Use your imagination.
I wasn't anything special at all when I started.
I remember your first coaster.
It's all just a matter of trial and error, and practice makes perfect.
Simon's come like a million miles.
Sure, I'll do that. Right.
It's fun.
Hi, I'm Christina. And so I was wondering, on average, about how long does it take for you to build one of those roller coasters?
Good question.
We have to budget in 3 months.
Wow.
So James has a huge team. What we do, we have usually 5 builders, maybe.
Around that, yeah.
Because it is on 360. So we're very limited to how many people we can have on before everything starts to lag out, especially when you're adding redstone and all this stuff. So we keep it a very small list. Usually there's 2 or 3 builders on at a time.
The weird answer we usually tell people is like 3 months, but we're not spending 3 months actually doing it. Like, after a long day of work, like, we'll sit up
it's
at
not a
night and maybe
full-time
take like an hour and just like really get into it, maybe sometimes half an hour just to relax. So it's that throughout the course of like 3 months, basically. So it's just a little bit at a time.
The two coasters that I've built on my own have taken me, one of them took 8 months and another one took 2 years. So it's a real dedication of time, depending on what you want to do with it and how long you want it to be. That's the other key, is the length of time that the ride elapses. Obviously, the more time, the more, things and devices you need to construct and scenery that you need to construct.
It's trial and error. And
I think also these guys spend so much time being really meticulous with the mechanics and going over and over that. I'm not sure if you saw in the opening ceremony, there was a quick video of ours, which was a roller coaster, which had no mechanics in it whatsoever. It was just a visual. It was just a visual thing, like a kaleidoscope. That only took 2 weeks. So that shows you how much time these guys have to spend to get it from there to have all these tricks and this redstone and amazing wizardry.
Yeah, because I mean, they don't have access to external programs to do this for them.
You're well did it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. It's a good question.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Matthew.
Hello.
Probably a dumb question, but is the Doctor Who video online somewhere?
It is actually, yeah. You can look it up on YouTube, and if you look up Doctor Who, period, it's one of the top searches. But type in Doctor Who roller coaster, and you'll find it, or just type in Neuropsych 1, and you'll find all my roller coasters. And the Doctor Who one is online. So yeah. And by the way, for all the roller coasters, I always release preview, just because. And there's also one for that too. And
We'll have some cards up here as well that have the YouTube channel on them. They're all under the same.
And Simon was saying that this is the reason that we decided to bring Simon. I was like, I got to work with this guy. This is his roller coaster. I'm just going to show you a little bit of the intro. I love the way this roller coaster begins. I was sold.
From my heart and from my hand, why don't people understand my intention?
He literally drops out of the sky over some pixel art right into the minecart. I was like, all right, that's cool. Yeah, nice. Just fall out of the sky. And so this was replete with redstone, just going off left and right with all kinds of fun stuff. And it's nonstop too. So, yep. You can look up Simon. We'll make sure that you guys can look up his video. I don't want to take up too much of the time because we want to get some questions, guys. Sure. Yeah.
Hi, my name is Jack, and I was wondering, what's the biggest coaster you've ever built?
Ooh. The biggest coaster.
Biggest. I guess that really okay, so what do you mean by biggest?
Yeah, there could be many different definitions.
Yeah.
Like the most ambitious project you've ever done?
I would say
That's
Doctor
a good
Who.
one.
Or Night Rail.
I would say the unreleased coaster.
Well, and there's that one. I don't know. Doctor Who is pretty meticulous.
From the point of view of the coasters that we've done on Xbox, I would agree that Doctor Who was the most challenging, both from a build perspective and also from a technical perspective. There were moments in that build where we weren't really sure how that would work and how we would get it to work.
definitely a madman.
The scene with the little boy saying, "Are you my mommy?" and the gas mask falling off. That took us 3 different iterations of it in order to actually get it to work correctly in terms of having the writing in the sky and then panning down. It can be tough. The intricacies of it are definitely immense. As each layer that you add on increases it, I would say, tenfold, because it's just another thing that either can go wrong or that you need to keep in mind. For instance, if you were to change the timing of one of these devices, or a stop, for instance, that you have in the middle of the coaster, that would affect everything down the line from that. So
yeah, the rule is no one touches my rail.
Yeah.
No one touches my redstone.
It's time to music, and we are not allowed to do anything.
Yeah, 'cause it really is. If you're one tick off on some redstone repeater, the whole thing is off from that point on out. It's like this domino effect, and it's out of control, and you want to tear it apart.
I would say each coaster we take on, we get a little more challenged.
Yeah, it always is. Yeah.
Well, because you've already done it.
Yeah.
So it's like you've already done something. You don't want to keep going back and doing the same thing, so you find new things to do. So it's like, okay, when you think you can't beat what you just did because you're proud of what you've done, then the next one you think, oh.
It's
now
never
what
as
are we gonna
satisfying
do?
as you think it's going to be when you're done.
Okay,
You're
now
like,
we got to do something else that's even better than that. So
Yeah.
each one of them, I think it's more and more difficult.
yeah, definitely. But more ambitious, you would say, Doctor Who?
Well,
It's
Doctor Who is the
definitely
most
definitely the most complicated ride. Yeah.
for the ones on
Definitely.
Xbox, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Good question. I hadn't thought about that. That's great. Yes. Yes, sir.
Hey,
Hey.
I just want to say there's some of the most amazing builds I've seen, especially the Rube Goldberg being done in creative without MC Edit. That's just nuts.
Right.
I have a couple questions.
Yeah.
Particularly, have you ever used Replay Mod?
I have. I'm still trying to master the line, the actual timeline to get the camera where I want it to be. But I've played with it. I've seen what it can do, and it's amazing. If I could actually harness that powerful juiciness of that mod, I'd be a really happy boy. It's really cool. It looks really good. I just haven't quite gotten proficient at it.
Yeah, and I understand why you didn't use it for Windows 10 and Pocket Edition, because they haven't updated. But it just seems like something that would be really cool for you, because you could take the rails out. But I know you're an expert with the rails, so.
No, it would be perfect. That's a great idea, yeah.
A question really is, at the end of the Rube Goldberg machine, there were some chests with pistons in them going up and down.
Saw that, yeah.
I saw one that was moving with
Yeah,
the piston.
okay.
It didn't look like a sticky piston. I tried to get a double check. How? Was that a glitch? What was going on?
That's Dragnose, my man. Yep, I was watching this.
That's a glitch.
Yep. There you go.
Okay, sure. So
Good eye, by the way.
We
Good
were
eye.
working with pre-alpha, okay, for Windows 10. So I mean, it was broken. Okay, seriously broken. So, but it allowed us to play with what could be possible. So you would actually see, in the end, while I was playing with it, you would have seen it was actually in a part that wasn't part of the machine. So the machine would have actually gone longer, but I actually had 2 minutes for the video. I had to make a 2-minute video, but it ended up being 3 minutes. It would have been 4. So I had to cut that part out. So the pistons you see there would have been legacy pistons from an alpha version that was stuck in whatever weird state it was. So that was a glitch.
Good eye, yeah, that's cool.
Thank you.
And again, super impressive.
Oh, thank you so much. Really appreciate that. Thanks. It's cool. Hello.
Hi.
Tiptoes, like that. There you go. Yeah.
Hi, I'm David. I have 2 questions. Are you going to put all your maps on a server for the public to try out?
We do have a server. Official TEI is our server. It's our official server, and I like to think of it as a place that I can take like all of our Xbox maps from my buddies that build these really cool maps, convert them, and have them available for PC. And so it's a good place for me to put my roller coasters. We just have to update the plugin so constantly that the rides are down more often than you would think. So
Yeah, there were a lot of changes in the whole way that the developers were doing things recently. So
but the
we
answer
do have
is
to update.
the answer is yes. And once we can, we're actually working with Mark from Realms. Mojang keeps wanting me to give him the maps. They want to put them on Realms, and so I'm like, that's cool. I just got to make sure that that people aren't confused when they try to go on the ride, because really it's built for the video, except for Ghostbusters, which I thought.
Yeah, Railbusters is available on official TEI.
That you can download also, by the way. That's a public download as well.
Yes.
That's the only one
Yeah,
that's
it's the
currently.
only one that.
Yeah.
It's the only one that's up for download.
Yeah.
Just so that people could kind of get an
That
idea.
was one
of what they
question.
look like. Yeah.
And do the glitches usually affect the overall feel or the way the roller coaster works?
Visually.
Yeah, visually, absolutely.
Yeah, not so much the mechanics, but visually it does. So there were points where you could not see ice behind ice. So we would take those things and use them to our advantage. And once they've updated those, now it doesn't exactly work the same. So the feel of it, we do build around the feel of whatever that glitch is. So it does, not mechanic-wise, but.
But my favorite one is lighting glitches. I love the lighting glitches, like half slabs and stuff. You do how you can put like glow stone behind in like a half slab. The light will come through, but it won't light up the room. So it makes it like kind of glow.
Or the fact that stairs will actually let a small amount of light pass through them. So if you surround a light source and stairs, you'll get a very faint glow that can be used very tastefully in places.
Yeah, that definitely affects the feel of it. Yeah, and we pay attention to that kind of thing. So even like as far as like shading, when we're building something, we'll spend time and actually say, okay, I really like the way it just kind of blends into the background. So we'll place lights in particular spots just to create that kind of gradient.
One of my favorite portions of working on the Nightmare Before Christmas map was that we had a specific room where we tested all of these lighting glitches. We made a black box
Our laboratory.
so that we had a dark room, and that was our room for testing lighting. So a lot can be discovered just from experimentation on a mass scale.
Yes.
It's a good question. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Awesome. Add to that. There we go.
I have a thing to say before I say my question. But first, your roller coasters absolutely blow my mind.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And then
That's a good thing.
my question is that why do you like Redstone still? So, boom. Why do you guys like Redstone so much?
Very good question. I like Redstone because you can do some pretty crazy stuff with it. Basically, like everything that happens on the ride is powered by Redstone. So there wouldn't be a ride without that. But it gives me control to move my environment, and I like that. It makes me like, I kind of imagine sometimes like I'm a director directing this thing, and the Redstone is my ability to make things happen. And so that's why I like it. It gives me control of the art that we like to do.
It's basically running electrical wires, and then you just flip your light switch, and you can decide which light you want to come on and where. So you just by switching your wires around, you can turn the same light switch on, and it might turn on different lights. And without the Redstone, you don't have that.
Really simply, I like Redstone because of this right here. That's all Redstone. That's a piston, a little red piece of Redstone, and you get like the image of like the snake going through the desert. That's kind of cool, right? And it's all Redstone. So yeah.
What got me hooked on Minecraft was the properties of Redstone and the fact that you were able to explore electrical properties present in the real world that have real world application in this game space environment, and to be able to explore that and to experiment with how did these electrical impulses work to create an effect or to change your environment. With an environment like Minecraft that's so static and that is made up of immovable blocks, the second that you have a little bit of motion in that, it brings the world to life, and it makes it that much more realistic to where it immerses you in the experience.
That's exactly what I was going to say. I'm not a redstone expert like these guys, but without the work of Dragnors and other redstoners, our builds would just be static. They'd just be pieces of art you can look at. But when you can move through them and there's movement in them, it really brings it to life.
That's a fantastic statement, because that's actually that's one of the things that sold us on our kids, for example, were interacting with us. And we're like, oh, that's cool. We're all playing Minecraft together. That's really neat. Oh, wait a minute. They're interacting with something that I'm making. So it's more than just art in a way, because we're doing something for our kids and they're messing with it and interacting. So the interaction is very important. Okay, can we take another question?
Yeah, so we've got, sorry, time for one more question.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you so much.
I have 2 questions.
Yes, sir.
First of all, on a scale of 1 to 10, how many command blocks do you usually use?
Good question. 0.
In the Xbox roller coasters, we use absolutely no command blocks. It is all piston and redstone.
Just really basic.
And also visual perspective tricks.
Yeah, lots of tricks, lots of illusions and stuff. So.
In the currently unreleased roller coaster that I've built, there's probably over 3,000 command blocks.
Dragnose has like, what would you average? Like so many, it's insane.
Yeah, so we were actually discussing it. We were discussing it earlier on. Is that so we pretty much built this one Rube Goldberg, but everything I do, you brought up the command blocks now. Everything we do or command blocks, that's actually a Rube Goldberg machine, because it's one thing happens, because that thing happened, the next thing happens, because that thing happens, the next thing happens. Okay, this now doesn't happen, so it goes back and it starts again. So yeah. Yeah, but we work with thousands of blocks.
Yeah.
Okay, and also, on a scale of 1 to 10, how important is it to learn to type?
Sorry, to learn?
To learn to type.
To type.
Wow, who's going to answer for that?
Sorry, Skype or type?
I would say that it's helpful, but then again, so is every mode of learning that you do. Every subject that I've ever studied, I'm currently in progress of a Bachelor of Science degree. Everything that I've learned in my life, I try to utilize toward what I'm doing next. And the process of learning is invaluable. When you're in school and learning math, even mathematics can apply to Minecraft, and so I would encourage you to do learn to type. It is a useful skill, but
you need it for PC.
But
Xbox,
but truthfully, everything that you learn will serve you later in life.
Even for what you guys are doing with the Xbox, maths incredibly important.
Absolutely,
it deals with timings. So you can't do what you do if you didn't have timings, if you couldn't figure out how to subtract and add the pistons and how many ticks you need and how many ticks you didn't, that doesn't have to be. And when it comes to like command blocks, as you pose the question, obviously typing becomes very, very important. But you don't have to start big. You don't have to start with lots of typing. You can start small and then just move on.
Yeah.
Learn.
The way we look at it, like with our family, it's hard to learn to do stuff, but you're really kind of like gaining a superpower in a way, you know? So that's kind of the way we look at it. I want to show you something real quick. This is like the worst part of this ride. It still annoys me. There's a derpy eye that happens to Otho. Yeah, I'm going to show it because it bothers me. Look, see, only one eye moved.
This video, it
only one eye moved. I can't believe it. It still bothers me to this day. So I'm going to show you that. Every time you go, there's a laggy derpy eye. It drives me nuts.
See, what's funny for me is I always thought that was intentional.
No, it wasn't. Here's the glitch that is no longer. They fixed this. It used to be that ice, you couldn't see it behind ice. It disappeared. So here's, ice in the distance and no ice as we go through the ice. So that was one of the things that we used and we took advantage of. And like right after we released the video, they fixed it. So yeah, I'm glad we barely got that one in. No, I don't think so. That was pure luck.
We're usually begging them not to fix it, and they always say, "Hey, by the way, just so you know, we're fixing this." I'm like,
yeah, that's fun. Nick, do you have a question, sir? Can we answer another question? Thank you, by the way. Thank you. Good question. Yes, sir.
Hi, I'm Aiden from Arizona. I have a statement and a question.
Awesome.
Statement is, this was a really good panel. I was glad to be here.
Thank you.
That means a lot to us. Thanks. Yeah, it's cool.
And
Oh, no,
He's gotcha.
yeah, give us more time.
And my question is,
Well,
and
there's nothing after
you can answer for any of your projects. What was your most frustrating moment?
Ooh, the recording of Beetlejuice. For me, it was the recording of Beetlejuice. It was the first time that I'd done it, that I was doing it, and I didn't realize how frustrating pistons were. Like the light, like the little glitches. It's just little things, like it disappears off the screen for 1 second, but it's enough that you can see the redstone behind it. And to me, that just killed it. And it would happen like 2 minutes into it, one block. Okay, I'm gonna show you another part that drives me crazy.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so nobody cares, nobody knows but me, and it really bothers me. So this is one piston glitch that I had to let go because the rest of the video was actually good. So when we turn the corner here, there's one block that does a little like.
Okay, so let me do that.
I saw it.
Did you see-
I saw it. It's quick. It's not. I never noticed it before you just mentioned it.
Didn't forget about it. So no one said anything. But that's it. So little things like that, that's the kind of stuff that to me, like that typically would have like ruined the take for me. And I would have gone back to redo it. Except out of all the glitches, this was the least glitchiest cut that we had. 10 hours later. Yeah.
Okay, we've been told
But
off
that
for
was the
being.
most frustrating.
we've
Good
gone over.
question, thanks.
Okay.
Thank
so,
you.
Yes.
very quickly. Quick question, last one? Yes, very quick. Oh, did you have a question answer?
Great question, by the way. Thank you very, very much. Appreciate it.
Yes, very quickly.
Where is the best place to learn about the lighting glitches?
Ooh.
Look them up online.
YouTube is awesome with lighting glitches. That's where I learned so much too.
Yes.
Yeah, do your best to like go on YouTube and look at the little videos. It doesn't matter if it's like a big YouTuber. Sometimes, as a matter of fact, my thing is like always look for people who are just experimenting, you know? Like you guys, sometimes you guys give me ideas because you guys actually upload to YouTube.
If I can actually throw a shout out here as well, if you look up Michael Byrne, BRYNE, on YouTube, he is a member of our build team for roller coasters and is one of our main lighting experts.
He is amazing with lighting.
He works strictly with lighting.
He will show you some really cool stuff. Michael Byrne. And if you want, we can write it down for you. But he would be a good source.
I would
for
highly recommend checking him out.
As you guys leave, thank you for the questions, by the way. I'm just going to play this video in the background. It's, it's just some.
I think the closing is at 5.
Oh, let's get out of here.
Which is why everybody's like bailing.
Let's go then. Yep. As you guys
Watch
walk
the
out,
closing ceremony.
I want to make sure that you guys. I want to make sure you guys know that we really appreciate you guys coming out. We hope you enjoy MINECON, guys. It's amazing. You're amongst some really cool people. I love meeting you guys. Stick around if you guys want an autograph or anything, and we'll see you guys around.
Yeah.
And we got Dragnose and Blockworks and all of us here. Awesome. Cool.